Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's Market Situation Report here, or SITREP at TGO, Topcon Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and obviously a big couple days for the president coming up here. Landed in pretty crazy to see an American president in Vietnam, in Hanoi, obviously for nuclear talks with Kim. And here in the United States, we have a big rat getting ready to testify on Capitol Hill. I mean, Democrats they're awesome. First of all, they're giving the president a lot of grief about the nuclear talks, and you really need to come back with something big. Do they even remember how long it took for the Cold War? And Reagan actually walked out of a meeting with Gorbachev and just said, "No, this isn't the deal we want." But obviously, all things are politics, right? So we got Trump's former attorney, Cohen, who's a rat, who's an admitted liar and a felon, who's going to sit and just tell all sorts of other stuff. So they're having this as he's having these nuclear talks. It's just it's JV and it's childish. But I'd expect nothing less from the Democrats. So obviously the president is punting on the March 1st tariff increases. We're still firing tariffs right now, bringing in billions to the Treasury that we wouldn't have otherwise, because he says talks are going well. But it's very, very interesting to see how the market is acting, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right. Now I've gone from a 0.5 to a 0.7. I'd say I'm a 0.8 delta that we sell on the news of a trade deal. Yep, you heard it here first. So here's what's pretty funny. Chinese stocks soar into bull market on massive volume after tariff. And what happened today? China's brokerage servers crash amid a stock buying frenzy. So at least they're feeling pretty bullish. I would not believe any of that. Look at the FXI. It's down 1% today. We closed our burner trade yesterday. Look at this. Where is it? Burner trade. So this is yesterday. In yesterday's session, we closed. If you got the March 1940 calls, you got a $3,000 profit in 2 weeks. If you did the burner trade, the March 1942.5 bull put spread with the 44 calls, that was nearly $6,600 in profit. That's nearly 10 grand in profit in 2 weeks on FXI, and we sold this yesterday because I told you this is going down, and it is. And I'd actually be looking to get bearish on FXI. And we're going to talk about this in our 1 o'clock live trade brief, our primary live trade brief coming up here shortly. So really, really nice trades on China. I would sell the news, man. Buy the rumor, sell the news, because it really does. You know, the president's saying all along he wants a huge trade deal, not some, piecemeal this. That's exactly what he's getting, is piecemeal. Hey, we're going to buy some soybeans. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They really haven't addressed the large issues: forced technology transfer, Chinese subsidizing their companies, and stealing our intellectual property. We're not going to get the comprehensive trade deal that the president did, but of course he's going to declare victory and do a couple laps because he got something, which I get. And as I said, it's all politics. Jerome Powell on the House and Senate today and tomorrow for his semi-annual Humphrey Hawkins testimony, giving a brief to our elected officials about what's going on with the Fed. Getting a little bit of fire from Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren and some other Democrats as usual. I don't agree with the job the man's doing right now. I think he should have raised interest rates when he said he was going to, instead of capitulating to the equity market. So stocks are edging lower, giving back those early weekly gains. We have some macroeconomic data coming out tomorrow night from China, manufacturing, non-manufacturing PMI. That's going to give us some insight into the Chinese economy. I think those numbers are going to be bad, but we're looking at some interesting. We're at a precipice, right? We're at this quadruple top, right? Stocks falls, trade optimism fizzles, and Jerome Powell is testifying. But look at this. We ran out of airspeed. 1, 2, 3. We ran out of airspeed right at this quadruple top. I think that's bearish, folks. I've been market neutral since last week. I was cautiously bullish, market neutral. I'm about to get bearish, man. It's not going to end well here. We're also seeing mixed macroeconomic data. What do we have? The Conference Board consumer confidence number saw a rebound in February. Home price growth is the weakest since 2012. The housing market is absolutely imploding. What else did we get today? We got Case-Shiller. So building permits were in line to a little bit of a beat. Housing starts imploded, and the Case-Shiller also imploded. Housing is imploding, folks, in this country. I've told you about Dallas. I've told you about San Fran. That does not bode well for the overall economy. So, folks, this is not good. And for the first time since 2000, most assets are overbought. Everything's overbought. Oil, gold, treasuries, and equities. Usually those things don't all fly formation together. They are now, and that's a canary in the coal mine and a potential warning indicator. So seeing mixed macroeconomic data, we're seeing a quadruple top, and we're seeing a potential trade deal that we know the president's just going to crow about and strut around and claim victory, but it's not going to be the trade deal that he wanted, and they're not going to stop stealing our shit. They're not going to stop forcing the technology transfers, and they're not going to stop what they've been doing since day one, which is essentially the Chinese government subsidizing Chinese businesses. That changes their society, and I don't see them changing their society for Donald Trump. So we have a lot to talk about today at 1 o'clock in our primary live trade brief. We're going to be covering Amazon, Raytheon. Going to be talking about JP Morgan. JP Morgan came in with a little not good news today. They're down almost a full percent here. JP Morgan's been dead money. I got out of JP Morgan about a year ago and decided instead to target Visa, and it's been the gift that keeps on giving compared to JP Morgan. So we're going to talk about all this stuff at 1 o'clock, and then tonight at 7 p.m. we have from 7 to 8 Eastern, we're going to have our covered call and cash secured put training session. Obviously the market's closed. We just hang out, grab a glass of wine, and we're going to talk about the tactics that you can learn here at Top Gun Options. Okay, so have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see many of you at 1 o'clock in the primary live trade brief.